In this short video, I'm going to show you how to use the line of credit option and also the equity release option in the Voyant software. First of all, the line of credit option. This is a more flexible option to use, and it can use to enter a home equity loan, equity release, or a loan facility that is often linked to a property. So, very simple plan that I have here. I have got Eddie, retiring at age 65, and he has a goal of wanting to meet £25,000 per annum from retirement, and he's got a home £650,000. So first of all, I'm going to use the line of credit option. So plus button in the bottom right hand corner, and then debts and loans, and choose the line of credit. I'm just going to call this one the line of credit, and we do have options for credit limit types, either fixed or percentage of equity. You'll be able to go in and sample and change things. I'm just going to use fixed for this example, and I'm going to have a line of credit at 500,000. I'm going to use the same options in both this and the equity release. Now, we're assuming that Eddie has not taken any or used any of the line of credit before, so I will leave the balance as 0. If he's already taken some, then you would put the balance in there. I'm going to have the interest rate. Very cheap, 2%. Now, the payment type, we have got repayment or we've got interest only. It is most common that your clients will roll up the interest, so they'll add the interest on to the debt. So in that case, you would keep repayment and put the repayment in there as 0. So that's what we're doing now. So we've got a credit limit, so he can borrow up to a maximum of £500,000 at this moment in time. I'm just going to move down there, and then I'm going to link it to the property. So I'm going to link it to his home, and then, unlike most other accounts in Voyant, the withdrawal limit is defaulted in this case to do not allow. So I'm going to change it to as needed. So this will take money out of this line of credit as and when it's needed. So let's have a look here and click on done. And what you're going to see happening is, I'm just going to switch the details on, that we take out what is required up until the maximum of the credit limit. So I'll just go to year view. I'm going to take it, first of all, I'm going to take the slider up to the first year first of all, so you can see what's happening. It's going to draw from the line of credit, so you can see the debt increases. The year before that, nothing happening, because we said it's going from retirement, and that's actually when the expense comes in. Then you can also see, because I've linked it to the property, it shows the equity of the property. Then if I go to debt here, you'll see by this time here, it's verging on the £500,000, which was the maximum. So that's what we end up with. So nothing, no more funds are taken out from there. So go back to year view. If I now do it from the and put in an equity release as well, this works slightly differently. There is more flexibility with the line of credit, and there is a full article on the line of credit. This video is just to show the differences between the two. So with an equity release, again, it's the same plan with the goal and the property in it. That's all. I've not added anything else in here. So I'll go to the plus button, bottom right hand corner, debts and loans, and equity release. Now, the first thing you need to do is link it to the property. So I'm going to link it to the main residence and then go back to the basics. I'm going to call it equity release. Is it a new one? Yes, just for this purpose in here. And the mortgage amount, I'm going to do 500,000. Now, closing fees. They are something that I don't think we have as in the UK market, but this has also been designed for our other Voyant softwares and other regions like the US. If we were to put closing fees in, they are rolled into the initial debt balance and subject to the interest rate. So it's added to the debt and rolls up on that one. So I am not going to put closing fees in here, but you can, when you go and have a look at everything, put that in. I'm going to do 2%. Now, this is the difference here. The equity release is not as flexible and does not allow you to take as needed withdrawals. So what it does, based on a calculation, and I will pop that up at the end of the video, a calculation based on the interest rate, cash available, life expectancy. This will produce an annual advance. So look at it here as 19,875. If I was to add closing fees in, this would reduce. And I can always put, and also just to keep this the same as the line of credit, I'm going to put in a credit limit of £500,000. You could have that credit limit growing here. If we were to do that in line of credit, you would probably do it as any percentage of the debt. Close policy after payoff. This again is something that is more common in the US market. And if this is turned on and you scheduled a one-off repayment of this equity release, something happens, they win the lottery, etc., then it pays off the balance of the reverse mortgage, as they call it in the US, stroke equity release balance here, and it closes out the loan, stops making any payments into the cash flow. So that's what that is all about. So I'm going to model this with the maximum of 500,000 we can have, and you'll just see the differences here. I've linked the property and we'll have done. So what you will see is that we have, if I take it up to here, that we only get the annual advance based on those factors I talked about, and I'll show the example of how that's calculated at the end. So within the debt, this is all it takes out. And then we'll see it's taking the same amount out every year. If we go to cash flow, it's taking out the 19,000. And then once the debt gets up to that credit limit, it stops. So it is a more, well, it's got stricter rules around the equity release. So for the things that we have, particularly in the UK, I would suggest using the line of credit because it is far more flexible. So let me just bring up here as well, and I'll just leave it up for a minute, but obviously you can pause the video. This is the annual advance, so what it takes into consideration, which is the interest rate factor, the cash available, the life expectancy, the monthly advance, and hence it comes up with them with the annual advance figure. So the differences. I hope that helps, and thank you for listening.